let's talk about what you like in the moment. We'll start with Pendal. Should you also be considering dividends at this point?
From these companies or from a broader market perspective?
Well, I mean, what should you be picking if should you be looking at dividends, and if so, where? And do these apply?
Yeah, well, certainly in this cohort, they're all paying big dividends or forecast to pay big dividends. So that's certainly, but again, if we're talking about broadly the market for a moment, the big unknown is what's the earnings going to be? I mean, I think it was UBS coming out yesterday saying there was going to be potentially a 20% drop in earnings in Australia over the next year or so. Has that been forecast into a lot of profit estimates? I'd say probably not. So if that's the case, you've just got to be very careful that if the E is down, therefore the D, the dividend, will also be under pressure. So the numbers I'm quoting you are forecast dividends, but if you're being conservative, which of course you are, Andrew, then you might apply a discount of say 20 or 30% just to be sure, positive, safe and certain, but they're all paying pretty good dividends. Anyway, the first one, Pendal.
Yep.
I think Pendal looks interesting, and out of all of them, out of the first two we're going to mention, they don't have the, dare I say, systemic risk that number three, we'll tease it out as to what number three has. So in other words, the only headwind that Pendal is facing is relating to outflows. I think they've lost about 7.5 billion rather in outflows. They're still managing about 120 odd billion, so you certainly don't need to feel sorry for them. But that performance fee, where they're beating the benchmark, that kicker, it's going to be right down this year. I think from memory, it's something like only about 10% of the funds will actually attract a performance fee. So we're in an environment whereby you're seeing not only funds go out the door, but the ability for those remaining funds to generate additional fees, that's come under pressure, which again, Andrew, I guess the other reason for out of all of these, the cohort we were just talking about before, down 30% for the year relative to the market down 15%. So the market really is hammering these outflows, really hammering this sort of drop in performance fees. Pendal is trading at a 29% discount to valuation, so don't mind this one at all.
All right, okay. We better get a wriggle on because we're almost out of time.